Everyone else in the restaurant also started screaming and freaking out as well. I even remember one guest started getting up and actually said, You are supposed to be dead.
This is Creepy with Coffee.
Hi, welcome to another episode here on Creepy with Coffee. I'm Joachim, better known as Kim. We have often heard about stories when somebody, either our loved one or people that we know, passed away and came back in a dream form to visit. Have you ever had an experience like that? If yes, drop it down below in the comment section. Today, I'm going to read you a story posted by personpilot, and this person tells us about how he or she got visited by a dead coworker. Let's get on to the story. I work at a fine dining restaurant and have for years at this point, and this happened about 3 years ago. When I first started there was this server, and we'll call her Miss Mary. Her health was already in decline when I first started working there. But after about a year or so, her health started falling off a cliff. She had cancer and was rapidly spreading through her body. She got cancer from smoking cigarettes, but she really don't care, even when she had cancer, and would continue chain smoking as she always had. She was always a loopy, bubbly type, but you could tell that deep down inside, she knew she was screwed with no way back. So she just kept smoking because she knew the end was soon anyway. Now, her and I don't know, I wouldn't say we had a friendship or anything. She's just my coworker, and she was also pretty old, like in her 60s, and me in my early 20s. So it wasn't like we ever hit it off or anything like that. She was just an old coworker that I talked to on a rare occasion here and there. Literally, the only thing we had in common that we are both Aries. Now, I'm not one to get super invested into astrology kind of stuff, but I do feel like maybe it has something to do with what happened. Anyway, Miss Mary's health started to get extremely bad, to the point she was missing work most of the time because she was in too much pain. And about a week or two before she passed, she actually called our manager, who she was good friends with, to let her know that Miss Mary, she was dying and was going to die sooner rather than later. About a week or so, being off work, she finally comes in one day for a shift, and she was, I tell you what, she was green, like literally gross green color. I felt so bad for her, but I remember turning to one of my other coworkers saying, "Bro, she's gonna die tonight." My friend looked at me all puzzled and mad that I would say something like that, as in, kind of mean and something like that. But I just said, "No, bro, look at her. She is literally green in color. I guarantee you she's gonna die tonight." Lo and behold, at the end of the night, she went into work bathroom and never came out. About an hour or so, our boss kicked down the door, and she was laying on the floor in the bathroom, unresponsive. Miss Mary was then rushed to emergency and unfortunately was pronounced dead. We then had a remembrance of her at our work, and in what used to be her table section, a small picture of her was put up on the wall over her favorite table. Fast forward, exactly 1 year later, I went to bed like any other normal night, and what occurred once I went to sleep was anything but normal. I had a lucid dream, a very vivid lucid dream. Now, I don't really have a lucid dream, and if so, I remember it because I have so few, I remember most of it. Anyway, in this dream, I was working at my job. I hate those kind of work dreams. I remember it was just like any normal day at the job. And mind you, in my dream, it took place in the current day. Meaning to say that in my dream, I already know. In my head, I already know Miss Mary was already dead. And her picture in the dream, her picture was even up on the wall. Well, this is where it gets extremely weird. I went over to the table 13, the table with her picture on the wall. It's a booth table against the wall, In my dream, I went over to the booth table to check on the guests. And as I do, I noticed that one of the guests' plate is empty. So I went to pick it up with my hand. And out of the sudden, out of nowhere, I hear Miss Mary come in and say,
No, don't worry, sweetie. I got you.
I froze in my dream, and because in the dream she is already dead. And when I looked up, she is still dead, but kind of like back from the dead. She's all rotten and disgusting looking with maggots and all sorts. I think the person who posted this story wanted to paint a picture like a zombie type of person. I remember screaming because I realized this in my dream. Everyone else in the restaurant also started screaming and freaking out as well. I even remember one guest started getting up and actually said, You are supposed to be dead. And around this time, this is when I wake up. I honestly feel extremely shocked about the whole thing because nothing like that ever happened to me. And I don't know how and why it did. So fellow listeners, what do you think about Miss Mary coming back for a visit? Is it just a trauma that caused the dream? Or did Miss Mary really came back to have a message? If you like a content like this that I put up often in a week time, do consider subscribing. Once again, thank you very much for watching. And I'm going to put up the outro video so you can continue watching. Once again, thank you very much.